All right, so our pal is Peter Rosenberg. Is this a major WWE weekend with Saturday night's main event? Saturday night in DC. Peter Rosenberg, of course, you hear him ESPN New York,
Sure you
Cheap
do.
Heat podcast,
That's your ace.
Hot 97 in New York, and of course, WWE personality. Peter's going to be there as well for all the coverage, the pre and the post. Your boy's going to be there, Peter. I'm coming up. I'm getting on the bird. Me and my son. We're coming up for Cena's last match. We wouldn't miss it. How you doing?
I am fantastic. Now I know how big a deal this thing is. The ZASLOW fams in the house. This is usually reserved for Manias and SummerSlams and things of that nature. So this is a big deal. Now, does your son love Cena, or is this more a you thing?
Oh no, it's the same son that came up with me when I saw you at SummerSlam. We did SummerSlam both nights a few months ago. He's my pro wrestling guy. We both love pro wrestling. He goes to all the shows with me. He likes Cena a lot. It's not like Cena's his favorite, but he likes Cena a lot. We both like Cena, so we're both really into it. We're very excited for this show.
I listen. I think it's going to be super. It's going to be a super cool show. It's going to be a monumental moment.
Yeah,
like regardless, like. You and I can get into the nitty gritty, as I'm sure we will, about, who we wanted, who we have, what it is, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, the moment is the moment. And like on a personal, like completely me side of things, it ending in DC for him is so crazy because it really has no meaning and makes no sense except to me because
you're a DC guy, right?
I'm a DC guy. And when I first got back into wrestling in 2005, it was really, I've told him this many times, it was because of Cena. Like it was the Cena entrance, hearing that he was doing a hip hop thing. At that point, I'm pretty far down the road in my hip hop life. And so I was like, oh man, they have a rap guy. This is cool. And I'm sure part of me was like, oh, is this corny? Is this good? Either way,
you weren't locked in on Men on a Mission?
Fair. I missed Men on a Mission. I was on my way out when Men on a Mission came to be. Although I made the right choice. And he's a big part of bringing me back. So to be in DC is just funny. And I've now been with the company on and off. I was off for about a year and change, but on and off, I've been with the company closing in on 10 years, 9 years, something like that. I have never worked a show in DC. They've never had a PLE in DC. So it's just interesting that I'm going back home and it's where and he is where my whole wrestling resurgence. It's one thing to be a fan as a kid. It's another thing for it to become such a huge part of your adult life. So completely selfishly, I'm very excited about the way it all shook out.
We just knew, me and my boy, we just knew that we needed to be there for it. We, obviously we didn't know who he was facing. We didn't know the rest of the card. But we knew it's one of the all-time biggest. Say it again?
I said, did you not know who he was facing? I would argue you did know.
I mean, I had a good inkling it was going to be Gunther, but still, when we decided to go a few months ago, it's like, we didn't know, but we knew that it's going to be, it's one of the most monumental moments in the history of pro wrestling. And that's good enough for me. Like, I want to be there for that. Yeah. And by the way, Peter, it's one of the monumental moments in the history of pro wrestling. Have you seen what these ticket prices are? Maron.
Yeah, I haven't even looked this week. I have to imagine it's bonkers.
It's bonkers. Yeah.
Like I just knowing what prices have been like in general and seeing the way the hype train is growing for this one.
Yeah.
Which is crazy when you think about it because, half the card is NXT people, right? So it's a pretty fascinating, final event for John Cena. But the fact that you get Cody and Obafemi is such a fun bonus. I mean, I don't know if you can call anything a co-main event when it's John Cena's, last night, but to get to have Cody Rhodes in a match with someone with the potential of Oba is pretty amazing. I mean, if I were going to be nitpicky, the only thing that could have been better would maybe be if it was Obafemi with John Cena in the last match. That, to me, if they'd taken a swing with anyone like that, I think that would have been really daring and interesting from this pass the baton sort of standpoint. Interesting conversation comes in about whether you like it to be Gunther or not. Was it needed for Gunther? Is he the right guy for this spot? We know they'll have a banger.
They'll have a great match. Like you're skeptical that you're not 100% on board with it being Gunther.
My main thing is I want a surprise, so I don't like that we knew that it was like the rumors being Gunther way out is kind of what bothered me. That it ended up going chalk, essentially. That was probably what bothered me. Maybe LA Knight's run is the most surprising part, but by the time you get to the final, and I know it's LA Knight and Gunther, at that point I'm like, all right, well, it's Gunther, right? Like 43-year-old LA Knight is not getting the baton. And by the way, listen, it's not like Gunther's 26 years old. He's in his 30s as well, but we know he's younger and we know how highly he's thought of and how good he can be. So I think it'll be an awesome match. I think Gunther's a worthy opponent. I'm just always looking for the surprise. And like there was a moment, Zaz, where during that Carmelo match, I'm like, can you imagine if Carmelo pinned Gunther and like to me, and I'm no booker, okay? I don't know anything. I'm a big proponent of, if you really haven't done it, as much as we can analyze it as fans, we don't fully understand it in the way that other people do. But, to me, that is the way you make someone. Like Gunther can't be made by beating John Cena. Gunther to me has already beaten really impactful people already, and John Cena has already lost to people recently. I mean, he just lost to Dominic Mysterio.
I think part of it is they needed to make sure they go with someone, and I think it's mainly why, we didn't feel that LA Knight was going to beat Gunther. You needed to go with someone that the entire crowd is going to be behind Cena. And if for some reason it was LA Knight that beat Gunther in that spot, you have a lot of people cheering for LA Knight in that final match against Cena. I think you got to find a way to have it 100% pro Cena, and I think they did that.
Can I counter this? I think Cena would have had 100% against basically anyone not named Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I think LA Knight would have been booed out of the building.
Really?
Booed out of the building. Yes.
Really?
Carmelo would have been booed. I think the crowd this has been such a hype train for the end of Cena. I think the whole let's go Cena sucks. I mean, they didn't even do it in San Diego with Dominic.
Yeah.
Who in DC? In DC, who are they going to cheer for except John Cena?
Yeah.
So I think that no matter what Cena would have gotten the cheer. I see what you're saying. Yes, he's a great heel that people actually boo. But my pushback, and you're not the only person who feels this way. I know a lot of people who know a lot feel the same way. I think anyone would have been booed. I think John is that loved right now. And guess what? That's the other part. I have like this dread that like when we see the ref count 3 and Cena loses again. I don't want to see it.
But Gunther made it clear, right? Like Gunther's only going to try and win this match by submission.
Right. So I guess we won't have as I was saying it, you're right. We won't have a 3 count. I'll have to just watch his arm drop or he'll fall asleep or whatever.
Cena can win, right? Can he win? Can he win?
Can he win? Would they do all of this and have it be Gunther to have Cena win?
Yeah, can he win?
I don't think he can win. I think that if you were going to have a chance at having Cena win, it would have been another senior. This
is why it's great. I think he could win. I think he could.
Listen, I would love for you, maybe coming out of this, I'll now start to think, oh, what if he wins? That would win. You think that they're going to have Gunther go? Remember, Gunther just retired Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're putting him in the retirement spot against Cena. What do you think is more likely? That he goes 2-0 and he's the guy who just bodies these old people? Or that he's 1-1 and he drops it to Cena, who just lost, who got, handed his ass by Brock Lesnar, who lost to Dominic Mysterio. Who else has he lost to?
Those may have been it, but like he'd be going out losing.
Oh, Cody, he's lost to Cody, of course.
Yeah, so he'd be going out losing like 4 of his final 5 matches.
I know. That's what this is. Listen, when I was in San Diego, I have to tell you, I knew, I had a hunch we were going there. I had a hunch Dominic would win the title back in San Diego, all of those things. And when I heard that thud of the third count, when that 3 hit, my heart sank. It's like so funny. Like, for as much as I knew that's where it was going and I can make sense of it, I was just like, oh.
But Peter, can't we also say, and yes, Dominic was obviously winning the belt back, but can't we say the reason that he was winning the belt back is so that Cena doesn't retire holding the Intercontinental Championship?
Yes. Sure. I mean, that's, I guess, what makes sense of it. But also, like, I guess they really wanted to put it on Cena on account of like the Grand Slam thing.
Yeah.
I don't personally care about that much. Like, sorry, I'm dealing with my dog at the same time. So I guess they wanted to put the IC title on John because he'd never had it. I would have argued he didn't have to put it on in the first place. Then he doesn't have to lose to Dominic Mysterio.
Well, and shit. But look, we know that moment where he won it, and he won it in Boston. That shit was cool. Come on. That was awesome.
No, that was fun. I have no notes on that night. You're right. But then I guess you got to get it off of him. I guess. I mean, all of these rules, right? Like, I don't know. It's that bad if Cena retires with the Intercontinental Championship and vacates it. Like, who cares? Who cares? Some of these things, don't we like get too caught up in? Mm-hmm. Like, so he had to give one back to Dominic. Yep. Listen, I thought it was a great match. Dom won. I think that, Dom, more than anyone else, I believe more than anyone else on this Cena tour, Dom is the future of the company.
Oh, what a big star. What a big star.
So for him to have, and I pointed this out to him. I was like, do you realize that no matter what happens here, you're not getting the last match, whatever. You're his last feud. You were John Cena's last feud. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll have the last match because of the tournament, but that's just a match.
Right.
The last story was Dominic Mysterio. That's pretty cool.
Right. I guess my only beef with the Gunther lead up is I'm not getting Gunther and Cena on a microphone staring at each other for 15 minutes, doing a whole deal. Like we don't get the build with Gunther and Cena. Like Gunther was on Raw, and now he'll see Cena this weekend face to face, and they're gonna fight.
Isn't it hard to like understand that too? Like, Cena's been doing press the last week and has said like he wanted more, and they were like, well, we're fine. We've had enough. It's 36 dates. If we had just made it 42 dates, we could have had these Raws leading up. Like, why would we not have wanted that? I don't get it. That part I just don't understand. I want more of it. I don't want it to end right now. And, if you ever get a chance, and I know you listen occasionally to Cheap Heat, mm-hmm. Dipperstein will tell you, my friend and co-host, he's still holding out hope till the last second that The Rock shows up.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Like, are we bummed that we're like the story is just gonna die a quiet death, huh?
I think there's no way to get around it. That I guess that's just what happened, and
it's a bummer.
It's such a bummer. Like it seems so doable, right? Like it's like what this was. Why couldn't he have? I mean, by the way, like, can you imagine a world? And I know this is messed up, and the purists would cry about this because they'd be like, "This is the exact thing you shouldn't do." But can you imagine if, like, on Saturday they were like, "Let's go to," they tried to do like a Goldberg like entrance where they go to Gunther's locker room, and they're knocking, and there's no answer. And they're knocking and there's no answer, and they open the door and Gunther's laid out and the camera goes up and the final boss is standing right there and says, "I decide who your last match is."
Or if it's like, you gave me your soul.
So the only way you get your soul back is if you beat me here tonight. Can you imagine? I mean, respectfully to Gunther and respectfully to the fans who would cry because they go, "Oh, Rock would be coming in." Come on, you got it. That would be giving the people what they want. You kidding me?
People are going to be crying in the stands, right?
I think there'll be tears. I think there'll be tears. And I'm curious, I have no idea what's planned as far as like a ceremony. Yeah, I don't know what they do at the end of the show. There's no NBC to worry about. There's no timing constraints. So like, does Cena speak? Do they do everybody out on the stage kind of? I mean, that's what they usually reserve when someone passes away. But you get the idea.
Is Goldberg going to have a problem when Cena gets the mic and doesn't get cut off?
Forget it. Someone check on Goldberg and Ronda Rousey. You know, who knows what right afterwards. But yeah, I wonder what they do. It's going to be such a cool night. And like, even though I'm giving you my critiques that I have overall, you know, while some are not the way wrestling nerds like myself would have loved for it to play out, I think we'd all agree that heel turn could have ended way better and things like that. Things happen. In the end, man, John had a handful of the best matches of his career.
Yep.
And now we're here with this awesome night. It's going to just it feels like we'll take over the sports world for one night. And what an incredible light that's going to be shined on all of this incredible talent on NXT. So it all in all, whatever you want to say about it, it landed pretty cool.
I'm very excited. Do you know where you're going to be set up? Are you in the arena? Or are you outside the arena?
So this is interesting because, like I said, I've never done a show. There hasn't been a DC PLE in all this time. I have no idea where they put us.
Okay.
I mean, DC is a weird. Have you ever been to the building?
No.
So it's in Chinatown. It's not exactly a place you would just like plop us outside somewhere. I don't see how they would do that, but they have to have some sort of setup for people to like we're doing a full countdown and post show.
Yeah,
like as they advertise,
people, so be able to be around you.
Yeah, and like afterwards, I feel like you have to have a crowd out there. I mean, of course, I would love it if Cena came out and did the post show and we got to talk to him afterwards in front of people. That would be amazing.
Yeah, but
yeah, I have no idea. I'm very curious about that. All stuff that I will find out on Saturday.
All right. Well, hopefully I'll run into you either way.
Well, text me and I'll make sure I run into you. That building's not big.
Awesome. Yeah, very good. Great job, Peter. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be so much fun.
I always enjoy it, man. Thanks so much, dude.